What? Like that? What would you call that? There's no name for that, right? Well, you know, if you take soap and you go like that, what do you do with the soap when you move it under? Rubbing. Did somebody say rubbing? Because I can take one of these sticks and I can rub the stick on this instrument from Mexico called the güiro. That's a rubbing instrument. So I'm going to add that to our list. Oh my gosh. Where's Oh, all right. Rubbing. That was one way. R-U-B-B-I-N-G. But there were other ways besides rubbing. And you know, there's one part of the orchestra that rubs their instruments all day long. They're just rubbing. What do you think? A violin, and they use a bow and they rub on the strings. But I don't rub on strings. I rub on things that are shaped like fish. What's another way besides rubbing? What would you say? Shaking. Raise your hand if you saw me shaking. A lot of people saw me shaking. I have instruments that we shake like this. I have the maracas from Mexico. I have these from Indonesia. Here's another shaking. Oh! I found this old sign, and I was shaking that. Shaking. So, that's another way we can play. Shaking an instrument. Did anyone see something that wasn't rubbing and wasn't shaking? What did you see? When I was doing the drums. Now, should I shake it? Rub it? What should I do? Hit it! What should I hit it with? My hands? Okay. So hitting is one thing I can do, but I was hitting with something besides my hands too. What else was I hitting with? Raise your hand if you saw me hitting with something else. Besides my fingers. What did you see me hitting with? A drumstick. Oh my gosh, I love drumsticks. Everybody's going to learn how to play with a drumstick. Here's how you do it. Put your thumb out like this. Now, take your pointy finger and move it and close it on your thumb. Now, with your other three fingers, move your other three fingers back and forth. Okay, now do that with your other hand. Thumb, close your pointy finger, move your three so it looks like this. Now, all you have to do is when you get the drumstick, is you put your thumb on one side, finger on the other side, and then move your fingers back and forth. Same here. Thumb. Oops. Here. You know, I should have asked them about that when I bought this, but I was kidding. So thumb, index finger, and then I move my fingers. Thumb, pointing finger, and I move like that. When I move them back and forth, all I have to do is put them next to a drum. But there was something that looked kind of like, you might have seen, that had something that looked kind of like a drumstick, but it wasn't. This is called a mallet, and it has a ball on the end of it. Same thing. Thumb, index finger, move it back and forth. And I can hit these. What else was I doing with these? What did you see? I was moving the mallet. Strumming. One of my favorite things to do. Strumming the pipes. So there was hitting, shaking, rubbing. I think that was everything, right? Is there anything else? I can just shake this one, right? No. Oh, that's right. Oh, how do I play this one? Blow it. Blow it. Oh, I'm out. That's right. I'm telling you, I was so confused this morning when I was coming over here. I thought this was going to be a show. So when I move this back and forth, it changes the amount of air that's moving inside the chamber. I even have a metal one over here. It's called a slide whistle because you're sliding back and forth. Where have you heard this sound before? somebody's falling in a cartoon. You see, that's what I do. That's my job. As a musician, I go into a place called a studio, and they have a whole bunch of bees. I love these too. These are called microphones.
And they can make your voice sound really loud.
But in the studio, we don't use a microphone to make our voice loud. What we do is, we take a microphone, we put the microphone right next to the instrument, we play the microphone, no we don't, we play the instrument right next to it. Now the sound goes into the microphone. It travels through the wire. It goes all the way to the other end of the wire, and when it gets over here, it goes into a computer. And then, when it's in a computer, all kinds of different things happen. It turns it into an MP3. Somebody mentioned an MP3? Yeah. And so the sound goes in, and it's called digital recording. I get a digital recording, and when they make a cartoon, they take that digital recording of me and they play it. You know how when Wile E. Coyote is trying to drop something on the Roadrunner, he throws it off the cliff and goes, ooh. I'm watching the cartoon, and I'm playing that sound, and they record it in the computer, so every time when they play that cartoon, that sound comes out. It's called a sound effect. Everybody say that. Sound effect. That's what we do with percussion. We play sound effects. Oh my gosh, there's so many sound effects. You can't believe it. Sound effects are sounds that remind you of something else. What does this remind you of? What does it remind you of? A train. How many people are reminded of a train? Well, you see, that's what we do. Musicians remind people with the sounds that they make, a sound effect. And you're going to make some sound effects today. And now you know how to play. You can rub, you can shake, you can hit. Is there anything else you need to know? I can't think of anything. Anything else? Oh! At the very end, I had a little keyboard over here. And I used something called this has a microphone right here. It has a digital recording of my voice. Good morning. And then I play it back. Good morning. And I can play it faster. And then I put a microphone right next to it to make it louder. Good morning. So that's another thing we can do. We can press our finger on a key and make a sound. That's called a keyboard. So that's one more technique. You see, every one of these things, key press, or press a key. Everything that you do with your hand is called a technique. Everybody say that word. Technique. So I use lots of different techniques, but these are the main four techniques. Now we're going to form a team. And I told you one thing I really care about is that signals keep teams together. So I want to see if that can help us today. Everybody put your fingers like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you